Gambia Chamber of Commerce officially kicks off 14th edition of Trade Fair Gambia. National Audit Office wins Best Performance Audit Report on IMOC. Doyle leader says Gambia still remains a hopeless and voiceless state. This and more coming on Gambia 24. Hello, this is Gambia 24 News with me, Mariama Cham, and thanks for joining us. Now, the 14th edition of the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Trade Fair International has been officially opened at the National Independence Stadium on Wednesday. After a year break caused by the coronavirus global pandemic, the 2021 Trade Fair attracts business industries, mainly youth across Africa. Gambian President Adama Barrow, who presided over the opening ceremony, hoped that the exhibition would lead to the discovery of what regional and international companies have to offer. Details in this report by Sohna Tunkara.
The trade fair is the biggest exhibition for youth and women entrepreneurs to showcase their products and services to both regional and international markets. Organized by the Gambia Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the 2021 trade fair launched nearly 500 stalls with a large number of small and medium enterprises from across Africa and beyond. Youth and women participation is noticeably in the increase, which, according to Abdullah Baji, the Media and Communications Officer of the Youth Empowerment Project, is triggered by the supports given to starters in various businesses.
On the side of YEP, what we call the Youth Pavilion, together with the Techifi partners. That's why we have it as the Youth Pavilion. So here, we got 40 stalls for different young people. All of these stalls are entirely paid for by the Techifi project. We branded their stalls, and we also provided them with branding materials just to ensure that the business is recognized, and they also have the visibility materials that they need.
Small and medium enterprises constitute up to 60% of the labor force in the Gambia, with huge employment opportunities contributing 20% to the GDP. Mohammed Singh, Business Development Officer at the GCCI, said it is part of the Chamber's work to empower more women to advance their business.
Supporting women businesses is a top priority of the GCCI. We have a lot of programs we do that are centered on helping women to start businesses, grow them, and increase their investment opportunities.
With the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic, many women and youth struggle to survive under the restrictive measures. Both medium and large businesses alike could not either offer goods and services to customers. President Barrow encouraged participants to make best use of the exhibition and promote their ventures.
With many female entrepreneurs and young persons linked to small and medium enterprises, forming a large part of the exhibitors, we hope that the 3 weeks ahead will bring the public together to discover what our local entrepreneurs and companies, as well as the regional entrepreneurs and the international companies, have to offer. I encourage both parties to make the most of the opportunities available for networking, matchmaking, and discovery, among others.
Many of the participants, including Binta Jamme and Aissatou Seka, are of the view that the trade fair presents opportunity in the recovery process from the impact of the pandemic.
My expectations are to get as much customers as possible and people to actually know the business more and people to see the amazing stuff I make. Yeah.
Right now, the turnout is somehow encouraging for now. You know, people normally show up when the trade fair is about to end, but thank God people are showing up.
The entire 2020, the world was seriously affected by the COVID-19 pandemic in one way or another, with the Gambia among the hardest hit economically. The GCCI International Trade Fairs has grown tremendously, with so many participants filling the leveled ground of the Gambia's International Stadium. According to the organizers, at least 450 stalls have been stationed, with mostly youth and women entrepreneurs across the African region. For iAfrica News, Sahna Tunkara.
Halifa Sallah, presidential candidate for People Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism, DOI, says the Gambia is still a nation without hope and voice since attaining independence from some 56 years ago. According to him, lack of education among Gambians deterred them from progress, adding that democracy is about getting benefits of your labor. He was speaking at the launch of DOI's Transformative Agenda 2021 held on Tuesday. Amar Ahmed Ture tells us more.
Halifa Sallah, the leader and presidential candidate for DOI, says the Gambia has been voiceless and hopeless for the past 56 years. He says his party's priority is to restore hopes in Gambians, hence the need for a transformative agenda.
Every day you hear people that I am afraid that if I say this, I may lose my job, or I will not get a job, or somebody will not consider me. That therefore I am voiceless. That I have shouted about my problem. I've shouted about my poverty. But nobody is there for me. And this is constantly what people say. I am powerless. We say we are liberated today, and every single day you hear people. I am voiceless. I am powerless. I am helpless. I'm hopeless. That's why DOI had to capture the state of our people in its preamble.
According to the prominent Gambian politician, what makes Gambians poor and ignorant is their lack of education. He stresses the needs for citizens to know who they are from independence to death, adding that the party's transformative agenda is out to do just that. Democracy, he continues, has been misunderstood as a colonial concept, but to him is different.
The coffers of the state, women every day at the marketplaces pay money. It goes into the coffers of the council. Why? That should return to become services for them. And that is why we have representatives. That is what democracy is all about. Your wealth should come back to you to provide you with services that will eradicate your poverty.
The top presidential hopeful asserts that DOI will redefine the territorial boundaries of the Gambia within 6 months in power. Honorable Sallah says the country will have absolute control over the management of its resources such as fisheries and mining sectors. He also promises to build a corporate state based on a new constitution that will uphold sovereignty status in Gambians. Reporting for iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmadu Toure.
Modit Jai, a key player and one of the ringleaders of the December 30th coup attempt, was the latest to appear before the Truth Commission on Wednesday. Jai was at the TRRC to explain the reason why they staged a coup, despite knowing that it was considered illegal and could amount to treason. According to him, the level of human rights violations meted on Gambians triggered their move. More in this report by Khadija Toseka.
A tiny West African state ruled by Yahya Jammeh from when he staged a bloodless coup in 1994 to 2016. The Truth Commission has revealed colossal evidence of 22-year rule branded by gross human rights violations that were done directly or indirectly by Jammeh. The violations cut across all diversities in the country, ranging from civil servants and security forces to women and children. In December 2014, a group of Gambians with military background residing in the Gambia and abroad, realizing that it would take a status quo in order to end abuse and tyranny, took it upon themselves to defend the country and honor their colleagues who were killed, tortured and abused by Jammeh's camp. The former member of the Gambia Armed Forces, who was also a key player of the coup, cited the reason why they planned to topple the legitimately elected government.
The 9 inmates.
Lu dem ci juroom ñenti way denc yi nekkon ci kaso yi.
What about them?
Lu leen daloon?
They killed them.
Dañ leen rayon.
Who killed them?
Ku leen rey.
The former president gave directives.
ki fi nekkoon président moo joxe ndigal.
Give directives for what?
Joxe ndigal pour lan.
To kill them.
pour ñu rey leen.
And what was the problem with that?
Waa léegi lan moo woon jafe-jafe bi ci loolu.
We believe that those people did not even exhaust their appeal cases, and he just killed them out of like his will.
dafa mel ni
kill them.
ñooñu dañ nekkoon nañ ci jamono boo xam ne sax jeexaluñ woon yoon wi ñu doon dappale seen layoo mu jee rey leen rek daanaka ci li nga xam ne nii moo ko neex.
So it was your belief that the president violated the law. He murdered those people, correct?
Bon ni nga ko gisee daal mooy ne président bi dafa yàqal loi rey nit ñooñu.
Yes, sir.
He further explained how the event of the December 30th unfolded.
So Saturday, Sunday, you relax, then Monday, Monday, then challenge attack on that state house.
We relax on Sunday, and Monday we attacked the state house.
Tell us how that happened.
Wax ñu naka la loolu xewee.
Then divide into two groups.
We divided ourselves into two groups.
One has
to come through the front gate, the other one through the back gate.
So
that's what we did when we went. We discussed that when we go there, we have to talk with these military on sentries there that we are not your enemies. We are here to rescue our country.
There
are some who are supposed to be inside to speak with the military, but they didn't do their job.
After a heavy gunfire exchange at the president's residence, 3 people were killed, including the main alleged ringleader, Lamin Sani, and others were arrested. Their dream of freeing the country from the clutches of a dictator came to an abrupt end when their coup failed. In 1st December 2016, former President Yahya Jammeh was defeated by a coalition opposition candidate, Adama Barrow. Jammeh initially accepted defeat to everyone's sucking, but later changed his mind, alleging voter irregularities. After intervention of ECOWAS and other international players, he was forced to flee into exile in Equatorial Guinea. Khadija Seka, iAfrica News.
The TRC report by Khadija Seka and a witness Modin Jai, one of the ringleaders of the December 2014 coup attempt against the then government of Yahya Jammeh, will take us to a break, and we'll be back with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
Following the announcement by the Independent Electoral Commission, the IEC, of the dates for the general voter registration scheduled from the 29th of May to 11th July 2021, the National Council for Civic Education, NCCE, reminds the public that voter registration is an integral part of the electoral process, as it is key to franchise as stated in Section 39 of the Constitution, and hence a civic right and a duty for all eligible Gambians. The NCCE therefore encourages every eligible citizen to fully participate in this crucial national exercise, as it is the basis for any credible and participatory election. The National Council for Civic Education informs the public that to register and acquire a voter's card in the upcoming general voter registration exercise, one has to prove your Gambian citizenship by producing one of the following documents as stated in Section 12 of the Elections Act: birth certificate, ID card, passport, or alcalo or district chief attestation. As the Gambia prepares for this very important national exercise, the National Council for Civic Education reminds the public to stay away from any altercation and refrain from the use of abusive language, provocative actions, intimidations, thugs, and physical confrontation at all times, as these contravene the laws of the Gambia. The public is encouraged to follow due process to seek redress when the need arises during the period to ensure that peace and stability prevail throughout the process. Voters card is your key to franchise. Register to vote and vote wisely. This message is brought to you by the National Council for Civic Education, NCCE, with support from the United Nations Development Programme.
Welcome back, and this is Gambia 24. Now, the Gambia National Audit Office has recently won a prize for the best performance audit report on emergency obstetric care. The winner report in the African-speaking Supreme Audit Institutions region covers January 2017 to December 2019 on the emergency obstetric care in public health facilities by the Ministry of Health. Amanda files in this report.
The Gambia National Audit Office, which is established under Section 159(1) of the Gambian Constitution, is to provide independent professional audit services to the citizens. The office also enhances accountability and transparency in the use of public resources for the benefit of citizenry. The Performance Audit Unit has recently won a prize from the African-speaking Supreme Audit Institutions region on emergency obstetric care. The National Audit Office held a press briefing on Wednesday to celebrate their achievement. The director of the Audit Performance Unit outlined their methodologies in coming up with this winning report.
Information was gathered through document reviews, interviews or discussions, and site visits. Document reviews were done to get comprehensive, relevant and reliable information on emergency obstetric care in the Gambia. Interviews. 74 interviews and or discussions were held with heads of health facilities and Ministry of Health officials. A total of 174 questionnaires were administered to care providers and postpartum patients at the facilities. Site visits. All the 14 designated comprehensive EMOC facilities, these are the major health facilities and health centers, and hospitals were visited. 24 out of 45 designated basic EMOC facilities were also visited as part of the process.
Mr. Drame said the unavailability of medical equipment in some facilities were also reported in the EMOC services.
Finally, availability of medical equipment. Some key medical tools and or certain important maternal and neonatal assessment equipment are not adequately available in some of the facilities visited. This includes suction machines, oxygen cylinders, and Dopplers. 58% of the facilities visited go out for outreach programs without portable hemoglobin meter, which is crucial to saving lives.
The Auditor General, Karamba Toure, highlighted the importance of the prize won by the Performance Unit.
The aim of this prestigious prize is to promote timely and high-quality performance audit reports that are relevant and impactful, and to share experience and acknowledge the efforts of performance auditors in the region. Performance audit is an independent assessment or examination of the extent to which an organization, program, or scheme operates economically, efficiently, and effectively. It goes beyond the judgments of compliance and accuracy to also evaluate performance and the value for money obtained in government transactions.
The Performance Unit was established in 2014 as a function and later developed into a unit in January 2019, starting with 5 members and currently has 16 members. The Best Performance Audit Report Prize was launched in 2007 by AfroCI in collaboration with the Swedish National Audit Office. Since its inception, only 8 countries have won so far, in which some countries won more than once. However, the performance report was published before being discussed by the National Assembly. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Amindao.
In what appears to be a fight against the old tradition, the Secretary to the Information Bureau of one of the oldest political parties in the Gambia, Sam Sarr, says has urged Gambians to support parties based on their agendas. Gambian politics takes place within a multi-party framework where the president is both head of state and head of government. According to him, many people associate themselves to political parties based on sentiments, a crusade he said the People's Democratic Organization for Independence and Socialism DOI seeks to change. Fatmata Kasim reports.
Political players in the Gambia are working hard to discourage politics in the dimension of sectionalism, such as tribe and anything other than nationalism. Their efforts are all geared towards the maintenance of stronger social cohesion in the spirit of one Gambia, or better still, one people. Samsal blew the trumpet for system change, in which the DOI is calling on every Gambian to be able to analyze the given situation before throwing weight behind any political force.
All these years, for decades, since 1965, we've had various regimes. But the concern in particular has been how to borrow ideas, to copy from elsewhere, to experiment. No, that's not the way. We are not copycats. We are scientists. We have knowledgeable people. We analyze concrete situations, concrete conditions, and come with solutions. So it is significant that this document, which we call our manifesto, be digested by every party member, by every activist, so that you'll be able to spread the message. Many people would say, oh, we associate ourselves to this particular party based on sentiments. We want every Gambian citizen to be sovereign. We want every Gambian to be able to analyze the situation in which we are and support the party on the basis of its program.
The Gambia, with no important mineral resources at her disposal, is heavily reliant on agriculture for her economic growth, with over 75% of the population depends on crop and livestock for livelihood. In the face of a rough search for economic salvation, Mr. Saad described the DOI's manifesto as an offer to solve various aspects of the economic, including agriculture, as the backbone of the economy.
You've heard many talking about commercialization of agriculture. Though we cannot continue to accept individual farmers using back-breaking tools such as the hoe, through which you produce very little and very little income and suffer a lot. So poverty will continue. And that's precisely what we want to overcome. We want to overcome poverty. We want to eradicate. And there's no reason why we should continue in that path. Mechanization of agriculture is the way forward, not through commercialization. This is mechanization without tears.
The current GDP per capita of the Gambia registered a peak growth of 23.3% in the 1970s, with economic growth slowing by more than 8% in the 80s and a further 5% in the 90s. Short-run economic progress remained highly dependent on foreign aid and on responsible government economic management as forwarded by the International Monetary Fund, technical help and advice. For iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
In the report by Fatmata Kasim on DOI calling on Gambians to support its transformative agenda of 2021 for system change, ends Gambia 24. I am Mariama Cham. Thanks for watching and to have a good night.
The pride we take in our brand